You've got to shoot this bit, Margaret. You've got to shoot it.
So, hello listeners and welcome to another edition of the Whiteout Podcast.
Yes, hello and welcome everyone. I'm Rob Stewart, PR Director of Ski Press and General Ski and Gear Geek. And that is my co-host Dom, and he's publisher at In the Snow magazine.
Yeah, and together we are the team behind your favourite ski podcast, The Whiteout. And each week we talk about ski news from around the world. Where's best to ski now? We uncover the latest ski gear for the season, and we feature some of those best ski destinations on the planet, Rob.
Yes, Dom, but today, in the words of Monty Python, now for something completely different.
I like that, Rob. Oh, yes, you're a man of my own heart. Well, yes, indeed. This week's Whiteout Podcast is dedicated to what I would say is a genuine hidden gem in the Pyrenees, Rob. Today, we're here to talk about Baqueira Beret. I've seen them exhibiting at the UK ski shows for many years. Powder shots at the back of their stand, always looking absolutely epic. Today's special episode is all about them. Baqueira Beret. What do you think?
Excellent. Yeah, very excited about this, Dom. Really excited. Yeah. Amazing destination. Yeah.
Well, before we kick off, just a quick note to our listeners. One, please do leave us a review. If ever you get to the end of the podcast and you think, I love that, leave us a great review because it does help other skiers find the podcast. And two, if you love the podcast, tell all your mates because it's always good to get more listeners, isn't it, Rob?
It very much is, Dom. Yes. More listeners equals good happy times.
Yeah, good happy times. Well, on to business. First off, Rob, I thought for fun, I'd go to ChatGPT and I'd say, what do you think of Baqueira Beret as a ski resort? And this is what it said.
All right. Okay.
It said, and I thought we could end at this point. It said,
yes.
Baqueira Beret is one of Spain's most renowned ski resorts. Nestled in the stunning Pyrenees, it offers a mix of luxury and adventure. With 167 kilometres of groomed slopes, modern lift systems, and excellent snow reliability, the resort is celebrated for its diverse terrain, catering to all levels, from beginner-friendly piste to thrilling off-piste areas for advanced skiers. It also boasts upscale accommodations, gourmet dining, and vibrant après-ski options, perfect for families and enthusiasts alike. Baqueira Beret combines natural beauty with a first-class winter sports experience. I mean, if ChatGPT is right, I've got to go.
Wow. Well, I wonder if ChatGPT can ski powder.
Good point.
But indeed, no two ways about it. And if I read that on a website, I would be interested, I guess. I mean, the place is surrounded by, pretty high peaks reaching 3,000 meters. And the views there, they are absolutely insane. So Dom, Baqueira it's a really well-established ski resort in Spain. It's actually really well known inside the country. Really famous for its Spanish royal connections. It's been a favourite for a long time for members of the Spanish royal family, particularly King Philippe VI and his family, but perhaps not the first place on the map for many international visitors or UK visitors, for example. But that is definitely changing. Yeah. We're talking about really reliable snow conditions, absolutely genuine epic terrain, very sort of charming villages and architecture, and loads, of course, of Spanish flair. So what's not to love?
Yeah. I mean, it does sound good when you put it like that. I mean, Baqueira, without a doubt, it's a world-class ski resort and really does seem to have it all. I mean, it's got the classic Pyrenean mountainscapes. It's got the fantastic snow record. And so it's definitely punching above its weight, isn't it? I mean, let's take a look at what makes this place special, because we've talked about it, we've looked at it. So I think we need to delve a bit deeper into this to find out a bit more about the place.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. First off, it is located right in the heart of the Pyrenees. It's in the Val d'Aran, which is a pretty sort of unique area. Offers a blend of like real sort of wild wilderness, really, very sort of natural beauty compared to some of the more built up areas, say of mountain destinations in Europe. Really, really nice mixture of culture. Lots of year-round outdoor activities as well. It's not just a winter destination. And you get this kind of dual culture thing. It's located on the French border, very, very close, also to Andorra, close to France. It combines Spanish and French influences. There's a local Aranese, I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm not completely sure. Aranese language sort of adds a bit to the whole charm of the place. Yeah. Really amazing scenery. It's known for these sort of dramatic landscapes, dense forests, these incredible rivers. And then We haven't even got to the skiing yet, but we'll come on to that because it is really genuinely sort of world-class skiing there. And then obviously it's northern Spain. You've got the gastronomy as well. So you can imagine that sort of French and Spanish fusion. Just equals great food, really. Awesome food.
Yeah. So the valley faces north with its back to Spain and towards France, creating a superb location which holds the snow really nicely. It's got that Atlantic climate, which means plenty of snow coming in and well known for those sort of powder conditions. And we'll talk about how we get there a bit later in the episode. So snow conditions can be awesome. It's a large ski area too. We're talking about 171 kilometres of slopes, 123 runs. And because the resort sits at an altitude of 1,500 metres with the highest peak at 2,610 metres, you're kind of guaranteed that snow cover throughout the season. They're planning to open towards the end of this week, November 30th, and the season expected to run through to April 21st, depending on weather conditions. So actually, it's a big, long season they've got too.
It's a really long season. So there's also some really exciting new developments at Baqueira Beret this season. We've got to mention those. I mean, the resort's really stepping up this year with some new slopes. It's got improved snowmaking, and it's got a bunch of other upgrades that will just really improve that customer experience. So they're investing heavily, basically, in improving the resort even more than to offer even more than it's got at the moment.
Which is great. First off, they've decided to add 3 brand new slopes. The Bosc de Peülla, or Peülla, 2. That's one that's definitely got our attention. It's a black run in the Bonaigua. So it's for the advanced skiers out there. We're talking 514 metres long with a 200 metre altitude drop and a steep average slope of about 40%. So, pretty nice steep slope, pretty nice, decent black slope. Starts at 2,239 metres. And it's going to give you a real sort of bit of a killer challenge for those more experienced skiers. So that's pretty nice.
Sounds exciting. But if that is not enough, there's also the Barqueta 2. I mean, you might remember Barqueta 1 from last year, maybe. You may remember Barqueta 1. But now you've got a whole new extension. You can actually ski all the way from Baqueira to Argulls, which is a red run, and it's about half a kilometre long, I think, with a 35% average slope. So, ideal for intermediate skiers, but those looking for push themselves just a little bit harder. So it's kind of like a slightly tough red run, basically.
Nice. That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then the final new addition is the 2200 slope, which is a bit shorter, but super sweet, located right at the 2,200 metre level. So guess what? It's the name of Baqueira. And this one's 220 metres long, would you believe? Okay. And has a 27% average slope, so in terms of steepness. So it ends right at the 2,200, so you can ski right into a great meal at the end. So, it's got it all going on. They have got some nice additional benefits to the resort when it comes to new runs, which is great.
Yeah, and what they've pointed out is that they've also, not only the new runs, right? They're also working on improving lots of the existing runs as well. So they've got an expansion of Tagaban, which is in the Dossau area, and also Plat de Beret 2. I like their 1s and 2s there, just to make things smoother and easier to link different areas of the resort. And then Baqueira, they've revamped the access to slopes like Orqueta 1 and 2, both of those, which is actually really, really good for free ride skiing as well. Or snowboarding, of course.
Yeah. Yeah. And for all the geeks out there, like you, Rob, the resort's been improving its snow production as well. Baqueira's added 31 new snowmakers, which means more consistent coverage across the mountain, which is nice, especially in those sort of busier areas like Bonaigua and Beret as well. There's also the addition of some new snow groomers with the snow sat system to make sure all the slopes are in the best condition, because everybody loves those groom pieces, don't they?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I mean, let's talk about some of the terrain, Dom. It's pretty well suited to all kinds of ability levels. Let's start with the beginner-friendly areas. If you're just starting out, or you've got, kids learning to ski, or family holiday, there's a dedicated beginner zone above the village, reached by ski lift both ways. And this area's got 4 ski lifts and a number of sort of really, really gentle slopes, wide, gentle. And once you've conquered that area, there's some nice progressions with blue runs further up the mountain too.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great resort for that, isn't it? I mean, the Beret area specifically is great for those sort of novice skiers, wide, gentle nursery slopes at an elevation of 1,800 metres. So it's safe, relaxed, nice environment, great for building your confidence and practice those early skills. And then, And it's got the nice modern lift system, so it makes it easy for beginners to navigate around those green and blue runs. So runs like Ticolet and Passerelle, they offer nice smooth gradients, scenic views through the forest, makes them ideal really for those first timers. And that's great. There's obviously got all the ski schools there with the instructors as well, and great for families as well. So it's really nice. The great thing that when we come on to the more advanced slopes as well is the fact that obviously if you've got maybe one or two people in the group, or whether it might be a mum and dad that want to do a bit more skiing and a bit more adventurous skiing, but the kids are in sort of ski school or anything like that, it's a great place for this. So got those nice progressive slopes as well, which we're going to come on to. So, I mean, the resort's got pretty much something for everybody. I mean, for the more advanced skiers, you can go to Beret or Bonaigua. They offer sort of all sorts of reds and blacks like you'd expect. Perfect for those intermediates and expert skiers who want to really push themselves. Some nice tree skiing around Beret and Bonaigua. A few more technical runs, a bit steeper. And I think if you find yourself in a group where you've got mixed varying abilities, then, yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely agree with that. And going beyond that as well, for more experienced freeride skiers and snowboarders, there is genuinely a huge amount of terrain there to play with.
Yeah, you can see that in some of the imagery, can't you? I mean, it's some of the imagery they use is pretty cool freeride imagery.
It is, and I know a lot of off-piste guides and a lot of off-piste instructors that run courses that love this area. They love taking people there. There's so much terrain. There is some tough terrain, but there's also loads of like really accessible, relatively easy freeride terrain there. Nice. So the area around Baqueira especially has got several sort of marked freeride areas as well.
Yeah,
it's a bit quieter, it's a bit less crowded there. There's some great off-piste areas, really wide open spaces. Powder skiing, great powder skiing, obviously in the right conditions, but they do get a lot of powder there.
Yeah.
There's also a snow park, also in the Baqueira area, for those who want to sort of jib and ride some of those cool jumps, like you, Dom, maybe.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, let's not forget, Rob, if you're into free riding, there's obviously big news this winter too in terms of the fact that Baqueira will be hosting the 4th edition of the Freeride World Tour in Baqueira. So from the 18th to 23rd of January, Freeride World Tour there, and that's a massive event. I mean, it attracts super top tier freeride skiers and snowboarders from all over the world. So yeah, if you're looking to get some pro action, definitely the place to go and watch it. Or if you just want to ski the runs or some of the same terrain that they're skiing, obviously not all of it, of course, there's some areas there that you could really get into.
Yeah, right. And on the other side of things, for those alpine ski fans out there, the resort is welcoming the men's FIS Alpine Ski Europa Cup on February 6th and 7th. I mean, it's the first time Baqueira is hosting this event. So if you're into watching elite skiers race, it's a big deal. Europa Cup, it's just to explain, it's the one step down from World Cup, but it's still, the level is still extremely high, and you get World Cup races in the Europa Cup, of course, as well. So it's right up there with one of the top ski races that you could easily go and watch.
Yeah.
Quite cool.
It's impressive, isn't it? I mean, if that's not testament enough to have those huge events coming to a region like this, I mean, if they're picking this as a destination, then, there's absolutely every reason for us to be getting there. I mean, so it's clear that Baqueira, the terrain is split into sort of 4 distinct zones. You've got Baqueira, you've got Beret, you've got Bonaigua and Baqueira. So whether you're a beginner, an expert, somewhere in between, there's going to be something for everybody, which is great. And it's what we all want to hear. And I love that when you're going to places like that, you can split your group, or the kids can go in one area, and be looked after if you like, depending on their age, or even just skiing around with a guide in those sort of more beginner and advanced beginner areas while you can go off and explore a bit more. It's a cool area.
Yeah. I think it's one of those places that I get asked a lot of the time. We've got a mixed ability group. We want something for everyone. It is actually one of those places where you could genuinely say Baqueira will work for that.
Yeah, exactly.
And then obviously once you've worked up an appetite from all that skiing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
You will find it's not just about the slopes anymore. It's not about the slopes. It is about the awesome mountain restaurants and gastro places. And that rich Catalan culture and that lovely food that they make. There's a lot of places to stop for lunch, and there is an abundance of choice there. Some of these spots, they're as much about the experience actually as they are about the food. They're just a lot of character in these places.
Really. Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you want true Spanish, like real proper get stuck in, you got to check out the Five Jotas. That's the way they say it. Jotas. I'll put that in the podcast notes for the best Iberian ham and the grilled meats in Spain.
For something a bit more, a bit more upmarket though, you've got restaurant 2200.
Yeah.
It's known for its fondue. Yes, you can get fondue in Spain. You're in the mountains here. They make a lot of cheese. And a dish called choutelon, which is basically, it's basically a steak lover's dream. Pair that with one of the great wines from the region. You've got yourself a pretty epic meal. Simple, great food, kind of breaking the bank type of prices as well.
Yeah, that's the other great thing, isn't it? I mean, they are perfectly located. I mean, they barely need to tell us that the food's going to be good. When you're in Spain and you're on the borders of France, it's going to be good food, isn't it?
Yeah.
They've got it all, haven't they? But if you're looking for a place to kick back after a long day, then they've got the Moe Winter Lounge, which is obviously a nice champagne bar. So that's a super great place to be for a bit of après. It's got this whole après vibe going on, high-end dining, sushi, great selection of cocktails, plenty of sun if you're there in the afternoon. So, yeah, look out for the Moe Winter Lounge. That's definitely the place to go and get some après.
Sounds very nice.
Yeah,
I mean, it's definitely worth getting away from the village area as well. I mean, the Val d'Aran Valley, there's lots of little great towns and villages scattered around the valley. Definitely worth visiting some of those. Really charming places like Viella and Saladu. And you can really experience a very sort of local culture there. Lots of sort of gastronomic traditions in that region as well, and you get off the beaten track a bit. It's not it's not touristy there. Well, it will be now. Obviously, we're telling everybody about it.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you really kind of like that lovely Spanish hearty food, sort of rustic charm, you're gonna love that place. You're absolutely gonna love it.
Yeah. And then accommodation as well, Rob. So Baqueira's got big range of options, as you'd expect, from the sort of luxury 5-star hotels to the more budget-friendly sort of spots. So if you're after luxury, you can't go wrong with the Hotel Val de Neu. It's a 5-star hotel right at the foot of the slope. So it's great for couples or for those looking to splurge a bit of cash with superb room, superb spa. Great place to relax at the end of a day on the mountain. So, yeah, Hotel Val de Neu. I'll put a link in the notes on that.
Very nice place.
Option. Yeah.
But if you're maybe you're on a family holiday or you're with a group, check out the Hotel Montato. That's a real sort of solid option there. It's got a very sort of relaxed vibe, but very comfortable. Still very, very comfortable hotel. Fantastic location as well near the slopes. They've got a really sort of great family friendly atmosphere. So it's great. Yeah. It's great for kids as well.
Nice. And then if you want something a bit more rustic charm, then Hotel Tuc Blanc. So it's more on the cozy side, gives you a real sort of feel of the mountains, perfect for groups or families on a bit more of a budget, but without compromising on comfort. So look out for Hotel Tuc Blanc. Again, put all that in the notes so you've got links to them as well. So yeah, a few really nice options for hotels there for all types of budget.
Excellent. And here's the thing, Dom. Baqueira is actually super accessible. I mean, if you're flying from the UK, for example, it's a pretty easy journey. You can fly into Toulouse, which is obviously on the French side.
Yep.
It's only 2 hours from the resort. And actually prices are better if you're heading to Toulouse. Potentially, if you compare it to sort of some of the other big, let's just say, European hub airports, it's generally priced pretty well.
It's fair to say it's a bit like when you're looking for those sort of Chambéry airports into the France and that sort of stuff. Looking at Toulouse, probably during the wintertime, not as busy, I would guess.
Certainly in those peak times, I think you can get some good deals into there.
Yeah, you could head into Barcelona as well. So it's only about 3 or 4 hours for Barcelona, and then you could combine a city break as well, which is quite cool.
Absolutely. Yeah. Nice.
But
who doesn't like a bit of Barcelona? And it's very drivable from there. Absolutely.
Combining that with a bit of skiing would be good, wouldn't it? And of course, they've also got their Baqueira Pass and their Baqueira Ticket apps. These are apps to sort of make everything super easy to manage your lift pass, get all the real-time info on slope conditions and weather. And, it's just that way of sort of having an app on your phone if you're into your smartphone stuff to stop you having to worry about all the little details when you're away, So that's quite neat. So it's Baqueira Pass and Baqueira Ticket.
Excellent. Yeah, I mean, this sort of thing is definitely definitely we're going to see more of that sort of thing, Dom. Apps that are giving skiers all the info at the fingertips, which is great actually. And that just combination, right, of reliable snow, great terrain, culture, and food, of course. It makes Baqueira Beret a really sort of serious bucket list contender. I think it does. What do you think?
I agree, Rob. I mean, it's a great combo. Obviously, everywhere shouts about their advantages, and we've been looking at Baqueira for some time, and clearly the terrain is great. Clearly, they've got this mix of terrain that's excellent for all levels, and seeing one of the big races coming there as well as the Freeride World Tour, it means that they clearly have got some great conditions, some reliability of snow.
Yeah.
The food we know is going to be great, and there's some nice hotel options there. And I think on the pocket, it's probably going to be quite competitive in terms of pricing when you get there.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
I agree. I mean, I really love the Pyrenees, and I think it's often overlooked. And as a mountain range, it offers something different. I mean, if you haven't been to the Pyrenees, any skier and snowboarder, you've got to go and check the Pyrenees out. It is right up there with the very, very best of it. So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's it for today, Rob. That's a nice deep dive into Baqueira Beret. So for listeners who want to get more information, you can go to baqueira.es for the Spanish domain name. Or as usual, you can go to inthesnow.com/Baqueira-Beret, where you can find a lot more information. And any questions you've got about the location, then please don't hesitate to contact Rob and I, your resident experts in the region. And obviously a quick reminder to leave us a review, and don't forget to tell your mates to listen. So Rob, what do you think?
Yeah, if I can get there this winter, I certainly would do. And I mean that. Yeah, I absolutely mean that.
I like the idea of flying into Toulouse or to Barcelona, because I'm pretty confident that in the middle of the winter, Toulouse is not going to be a busy airport, and probably you're going to get pretty good price flights down there. So that's a big attraction, especially if you're traveling with a family of 4. Well, that's it. For more information, everyone, don't forget to visit baqueira.es or visit inthesnow.com/Baqueira-Beret. And until next time, Rob, when we have one of our full episodes, which is next Friday, enjoy your skiing in Austria and France that you'll be off to this week, and we will catch up in a week's time.
Certainly will. Thanks, Dom.
Have a good one.
Cheers, you too. Bye.